everybody and welcome to another year of NovELTies, the life of a teacher researcher. This is already the 17th episode and I must say I have been learning a lot throughout the first 16 episodes and I hope that you have as well. Let's keep it up, keep on being those teacher researchers and make the most out of 2018. Now for this year to start with, we actually had the question of the week related to repetition in the classroom, about words that we continuously use. I asked Jessica Mackay to observe my lesson. She is a teacher researcher as well, and we talked about the importance of having somebody to observe our lessons or record our lessons, and after that whether it is really a good thing to actually continuously repeat words in the classroom. And this is what she said.
It's actually quite useful because you think, oh God, I didn't realise I said that so much.
Right.
No, I mean, mine is right.
Right.
No? But it could be, well, anyway, okay. I think I observed somebody recently that literally said okay more than 4 or 5 times in the space of a minute.
Wow.
You know, and they had no idea that they were doing this until it was pointed out to them. And you don't realise you're doing it until, I think that's why recording yourself is such a useful activity.
Yeah.
Sort of holding up a mirror to your teaching activity. Repetition in the classroom is not necessarily a bad thing. You want your students to learn sort of these fixed expressions.
Now this point of view is quite similar to what ESL Teacher Hong Kong had to say. ESL Teacher Hong Kong said that it is not necessarily a bad thing to actually continuously use certain expressions in the classroom, as long as they are not disruptive or annoying. What I also found remarkable is the fact that there were many comments throughout the week about positive reinforcement. There was, for example, Gosia, who said that she used especially expressions like awesome, exactly, and there you go. And then on the other hand, we also had Teacher Max, and Teacher Max especially used words like good, excellent, and that's it. But I must say, is that a good thing to continuously use those words or a bad thing? Now the exact same thing happened to me.
You were quite interesting to watch actually, because a lot of teachers have words that they use quite a lot. I mean, mine are things like right or okay, and you have to be careful that you don't overuse them. But yours was very much the positive reinforcement, the praise. You used words like great, fantastic, wonderful, in response to student utterances. I picked up on it a little bit because the question of praise is a little bit controversial depending on how you use it. And I think there is a place for praise if you have, say, younger students, teenagers, maybe lower levels, where you are using praise to encourage them to speak, to make them feel more relaxed and make them feel that this is a positive environment. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use praise, you're a very positive person, it comes automatically to you. But you have to be careful not to overuse it, because then it loses its value to a certain extent. If a student says something in response to one of your questions, and it's a correct utterance, but it's what you would normally expect them to say in those situations, there's no reason to say, great, fantastic, because that's not reflective of real life.
I believe that it's just like Max says, that we often as teachers just really like to reassure our students that they are actually doing a great job, and this way starting to believe in themselves, that they are able to create with the language in their own terms and conditions. But apart from these expressions, I also used another expression.
Before a task, like you put on a listening and you said, okay guys, good luck.
Right.
And I thought there was, what was interesting about that was what message you were sending by telling them good luck. First of all, if you think about it, you're telling them good luck because this is really difficult. Okay, so you're going to need luck. Yeah. And also in terms of, I know you're interested in agency, you know, and students' sense of control over the situation, that they're in charge of their own learning. Yeah. It's not a question of luck, is it?
Exactly.
You know? They're in charge of how well they respond to certain situations. When you talk about motivation in class, you sometimes talk about attribution. So attribution theory suggests that you attribute, you look for the cause of your success or your failure. And if the success of an activity depends on luck, then it's out of your control.
Exactly.
Whereas if it depends on your effort, it's an internal attribution, you have some kind of control over that. So this returns to the question of agency again. And, you know, if these students are responsible and in control of their own learning, then we don't want to send the message that they need luck to pass the exam.
I believe that as a teacher, it is necessary for students to actually start believing in themselves. And so maybe another way of expressing the same thing but in other words would be, just as Emma said, the expression "you can do it." So what I recommend you is not to overuse the expression "you can do it," but we actually can use it in the classroom, because it is really important for students, especially when they're at a lower level, secondary school or primary school, to start believing in themselves in order to figure out how a language works and to figure out not only their knowledge but also in line with their own actions and ways of being. So from all the comments that I've read and heard throughout the week, I could clearly see that teachers find it very important to actually empathize with the students. Now, that is going to be the question of the week. Do you think it is important to empathize with your students? And if so, how do you empathize with your students? Have a wonderful week, everybody. And remember that you can leave your comment on the Instagram page at The Teacher Researcher, on Facebook, NovELTies Vlog, or on the YouTube channel, The Teacher Researcher. Have a great week, everybody. And remember that a great teacher never stops learning. Take care.